Hey, it's me again. Yes, I'm uploading a lot of videos because I got a lot on my mind. I feel like this needs to be out there. Um, the reason why some relationships work out is because the guy had to sacrifice a lot. It's like a ritual. The guy had to sacrifice himself in the process. That's why it worked out. But for me, hell no, I ain't ever sacrificing my well-being for a woman. I'm not sacrificing my friendships for no woman. I don't care if I have a kid with this woman or anything like that. I'm not sacrificing myself for no one. You know what I'm saying? And when you do have kids, it's about the kid, and you do have to sacrifice yourself to protect the kid and make sure the kid is growing and all this other stuff like that. But to sacrifice yourself for a woman, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And especially if she's not putting any effort into the relationship and all this other stuff like that. That's not something. You see, my god brother, right? He sacrificed who he is today. Like, he sacrificed himself in the process of being with this girl, and that fucked up our relationship. You know, that fucked up our bond that we had. You know, like, I don't, and I'm not gonna make this video about my god brother, but my god brother, his relationship is working out because he had to, he did a lot of things. Like, he did a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he paid his way to get what he got today. I'm saying he did extra. He did extra stuff. Like, when I say extra, I'm saying extra. When they broke up, he didn't move on. He didn't just move on. He didn't move on at all. He tried to contact her. He literally stalked this girl. And for the girl herself, the reason why she didn't let go of him is because, you know what? He has a car. He's useful, And luckily for her, she saw value in my godbrother. See, women like that are kind of rare because women don't try to see the good in you. But what I'm trying to say here is my godbrother is a good example of, he's a good example. He's a good example. And I'm not hating on my godbrother, but if only he didn't sacrifice himself in the end. He sacrificed who he was in the end. Like, we used to hang out all the time and we used to do things all the time. But now it's like, damn, we can't do the things we used to do anymore because this girl's around, This girl's around. It's pretty much like this. He chose his girl over me, man. And I don't like that. I don't like that. But what I'm trying to say here is, what I'm trying to say is, women who are successful with men, they're only successful because the guy is sacrificing so much. He's letting go of friendships. He's letting go of family members. He's abandoning him. He's abandoning himself. It's like a ritual. And this was like a gamble too, because if he did that to the wrong person, a restraining order would have happened. He's lucky that girl didn't place a restraining order on him for what he done. Men like my godbrother are the reason why women don't try. And I'm not saying all this because I don't like my god brother. I like my god brother. I still love him. He's like a brother to me. But people like my god brother, you know, they have problems. They got problems, you know, and the problems that they have is they don't love themselves, you know. They don't really love themselves. You like if something wants to happen to that relationship, I guarantee you, my god brother will come back to me and be like, "Oh, this girl broke up with me, man, and took the kid and all sort of stuff like that." Watch, it's gonna be a day where he's gonna go through a traumatic event, and he's gonna come right back to me because he knows that I'm the only one. I'm the only one, right? I'm the only one in this planet that can relate to him. Like, we are so close, man. You know, we used to live with each other as kids, you know. If he's going to go to anybody to relieve that pain, it's going to be me, you know. I don't like how that girl is the center of attention, you know. That, you know, they live together, you know. They live together, and every single day, that girl is always first. That's the first thing he goes to, that girl. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. You know, he can't live without this girl. And, you know, it's been years, man. It's been like this for years, you know. You know. Men like my god brother don't have a big circle because their circle evolves around the woman that they're with. Am I ever gonna act like that? Hell no. I don't even care if I have kids. If I have kids and I'm with a girl, I'm not gonna cut my loved ones off. I'm not gonna just be distant and not say nothing, you know, and not even try to keep you around and all sort of stuff. I'm not going to be like that because you know what, man? I know who to keep in my life. You know, yeah, I fucked up and I said some hurtful things and I messed up, you know, by, you know, insulting the girl and being like, you know, she ain't shit and, you know, and it's all this other stuff like that. It's a long story. In so many words, I said some hurtful things to his girlfriend, and he didn't like that, so he cut me off. But it was well deserved. It was well deserved, you know, because she really ain't shit. Women like my girlfriend, like women like my ex and women like my godbrother's girlfriend, they will forever be not shit. They will forever be nothing. Forever, no matter what they do. And today, you know, my godbrother might value, I'm not going to say might, he does value this girl. But there's a condition. There's a condition to it. You know, it's not complicated, but there's a condition. There's a condition to everything. Every successful relationship is a condition. It's not neutral or natural. There's always a contract. You know what I'm saying? And the contract is fuck everybody else and make it about me type shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make this video not just about my godbrother, but about successful relationships. The relationships are successful because, you know, a contract was made or a sacrifice had to happen. You know, there was a sacrifice that happened, you know. And what I mean by sacrifice, I'm saying, you know, someone had to get hurt in that process emotionally. Someone in the process of keeping a girl, they you know, it got they either got emotionally hurt or, you know, they got abandoned. They got left behind. You know? And that's the thing, you know? So if you ever see a married couple or people that are in these long ass relationships, man, like me, for example, you know, I used to be in a long relationship, 3 years. But the moment I stopped pleasing the girl, that's when it stopped. You see, I told you, I'm not sacrificing myself to please a woman. For me, the reason why my relationship lasted that long is because I was pleasing the girl. You know, I was pleasing the girl. But the moment I stopped that shit and took care of myself, oh, now we gotta break up. Now we gotta break up and shit. You know? Yeah, I'm done. You know? But that's all I gotta say. This is, you know, why I am what I am today, you know? But that's all I gotta say. Peace out.